Happy Sunday, everybody. How's it going, man? We are back again with My Hero. One thing I have to work on, right? And it's something that I've been attempting to do, but I'm just naturally a soft talker. So it's very difficult to do because I never excuse me, first of all, I'm not a loud talker, just in general. I got to do the Discord thing. Hold on. I'm all over the place. I'm not a loud talker. So me attempting to project my voice, I don't want to feel like I'm yelling into the microphone. So I have to do better at speaking up because there are some times when I'm talking that I'll start to speak low and the microphone's not picking me up because of the noise gate that I have set. So I have to do a better job at projecting, and I'm going to actively try to do that this stream. We'll see how it goes. Hold on. Oh gosh, I'm failing horribly. So I'll do that. I'll link that. Then I'll, cancel. I'll do this. Hold on. First, let me just say hi. Hey everybody. How's it going? I have to now get the link for the other stream so that I can send a notification to Discord because I always forget to do it. And it's just something I should be doing. Hold on. And then I will be able to start. I first want to talk about the anime because why not? The anime is going on. We have a space to talk about My Hero, and I never get to talk about My Hero pretty much at all besides with my anime only friend. So why not talk about My Hero? All right. I think that's all set. Think we're all set. Cool. All right. Oh, no, I'm not cool. I don't have the chat. There we go. What's up, Tafad? How are you? Happy Sunday. So real quick, just to talk about the anime before we hop into the chapter. Last week we spent like 15 minutes. I don't want to spend that long. But great episode. The anime is firing on all cylinders. I think that so what happened is that My Hero definitely became a cash cow. It became very popular, very fast, very mainstream. So they were like, why not capitalize on it? We're going to throw out some video games that are utter trash. Every My Hero game that exists on any market it's not good. Yeah, I've the anime Arknights? No, I haven't. I have not. So it was like, let's get some crappy video games out. Those video games suck. The gacha games aren't that much fun in my opinion. I downloaded almost all of them. I don't have fun with them. But I'm not a gacha person, so if you have fun with them, teach its own. And then it's like, let's get movies out too, because every popular shonen series has their movies that don't necessarily connect to canon. I feel like Demon Slayer popularized that. What's up, Midoriya Shonen? Demon Slayer popularized making arcs canon in your series, so now everyone wants to do that. Let's take canon stuff, make it a movie, make money for it, and then we could just air the movie again during the season. We don't have to spend that much on production for the next season because half the season will be the movie that we released 2 years ago, 2 years ago, or a year ago. So you have our 3 My Hero movies, and evident that the production quality of the seasons, Dragon Ball Super did it first. Did they? Well, it's hard because right now I think they're refuting the fact that Broly is canon, or it's either superhero or Broly is not canon anymore. There is no canon in Dragon Ball. That's what we've come to find out, because we don't know if the manga is canon or the anime is canon, because they differ in what happens in them. The manga picks up saying that Dragon Ball Super Broly happens, and then right at the ending of Dragon Ball Super Broly, no news that I know of. But then at the end of Dragon Ball Super Broly, when Goku instant transmissions away from Broly and the movie ends, you teleport straight into the beginning of the Moro arc. So now there's like disputing that one of these things isn't canon anymore. So I feel like what is canon is the anime. I feel like that's what's going to be canon. And the anime is going to differ So if we do the Moro arc and the Granola arc and all that stuff, it's going to be different than it was in the manga. And then either Superhero or Broly is not going to end up being canon. It's difficult. It's really difficult. It is really difficult. I feel like Demon Slayer was the first clear cut. This is the next arc in the manga. I want to say, well, it's the most popular series that was clean cut. This is the next thing that happens in the manga. There's no disputing it. There's no worries about canon. No, this is the next arc. You want to see what happens with these characters? Have a good one. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. Watch if you want to know what happens with these characters next, watch that movie. I feel like that's what it is. So now feels like you get Jujutsu Kaisen 0, where that's based on a manga, and then we do that. Like, it's not like it was. You get some of the My Hero movies where they were original ideas from Hori himself, and you're like, well, okay, we're moving towards that. And getting to the point I wanted to make, just talking about the quality of the series each season, as it kept going on, you would notice that it would decline, because there was always multiple animation projects of My Hero happening at the same time. I don't know if this was them being aware of people being upset at the quality of content that they were receiving, that they decided not to put out a movie that we know of. I feel like the quality is apparent, unless they're just like slave whipping them. I feel like the quality is apparent that there isn't anything currently active that has taken the staff away. So it's apparent in this 6th season. So far, we are 5 episodes in. We're 5 episodes in. The quality's been good. It's been paced very well. It's been a great adaptation. This week's episode had a few anime only moments that just expounded on what was happening in those scenes to flesh it out more. Like in the manga, we never get to see Exless die. That's something where I'm pretty sure I read it last night or 2 nights ago when I was asleep. Supposed to be sleep. The paneling goes from Shigaraki wakes up, like he gets the shock. You see him sit up. He says, "I'm cold." We don't see him again until he's outside. Like we cut over to Aizawa and Mike and everything that happens, and then we see the decay come and everyone scatters. So like seeing Exless die, seeing I think a little bit of the Gran Torino, all that stuff, that's a little extra stuff just to add to that, because you need to fill that stuff in. They're killing it. We're in like this weird pacing where one episode's 4 episodes, one episode's 3 episodes. Like this week and next week is kind of like in between the 2 to 3. Like this week it wasn't quite 3 chapters, but it wasn't 2 chapters. It like adapted 271, 272, and then part of 273. It didn't adapt all of 273, because in the preview for next week, there are moments in the preview that are in chapter 273. So next week's going to be like 273, finishing that up, 274, and maybe all of 275, or maybe parts of 275. You don't know. So I'm liking this in between, where it's just like, we're not at 3, we're just under 3, we're not at 2, we're just over 2, so it's not too slow. It doesn't feel too fast. It's not like I feel like last week worked, where 2 weeks ago worked because it was high octane, it was very fast, it added to everything. But I'm excited. Other thing though, I feel like they deliberately skimmed on arcs that the production team didn't like. Arcs like the Culture Fest Joint Training aren't the most popular, and one of 2. All those arcs got, well, the joint train, well, what was the joint training? I don't remember. I don't know. I kind of make guesstimates, and I have limited information. There might be other people on the internet that might have definitive information on why things got skimmed. I think that MVA got treated the way it did was, one, whoever decided, bad storyboarding, bad planning. That's 1. 2, it wasn't popular. And I don't know if the team didn't like it or anything. It was very, like, a lot of the villain stuff in Japan is like not liked. It's not liked. That's why I feel like we were talking about it at the end of last week. the whole discrimination arc that Hori wanted to do probably was discouraged because villain-centric arcs don't go over well. So a whole arc about discrimination, that's not going to go over well. So he probably condensed it and just put it here with Shoji and Spinner and all this stuff with the everyone fighting back. That's probably why we're getting it now, because he at least wanted it in there. He needed it in there, but he couldn't dedicate an arc to it. That's my guess. But the anime's been going great. Next week should be absolute flames. Next week should be absolute flames. It's gonna be great. Next week should end with Shigaraki with his hand out. That's where it should end. There's a possibility that they do go a little bit more, but it should end with Shigaraki's hand reaching out and Gran Torino flying in to save the boys. That's where it should end. But all right, got the anime stuff out of my system. Okay, 13 minutes into the stream. Goodness gracious, my bad. All right, 371. I'm gonna start 371 together with Shoji. The safety of those in the hospital. Question. All right, let me zoom in. Forgot. Tell me you have a plan. Are you gonna do? No, I'm not reacting to Bleach. I read the manga, so how I can't knowingly react to something that I know about already. I feel like it's not authentic. People do it, to each their own. The people that do know what's happening in Bleach and then are reacting to it, to each its own. It's been 10 years since the anime ended. It's been what, 5 years since the manga ended? It feels like 4 or 5 years since the manga ended. It's damn near brand new. To each its own. If they're gonna react to it, react to it. I'll watch it in the Discord probably when I get out of work tomorrow. So that's like after Steins Gate, so maybe 5:45, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested, I'll watch it in the Discord, but I won't do a reaction of it. No. All right, let me continue. All right, ask me if I have a plan. Ow, but his problem, boy, hurt me. Spinner, oh man. Okay, so my guess is, I'm taking like a big guess. I was thinking about this like a little bit throughout the week last week. The villains are gonna win. Spinner, I feel like he's gonna win on this battlefront. Right now, All For One is busy with Endeavor, but he's like fully revitalized. Granted, on the timeline, like he has a timetable against him. So we have him busy with Hawks and Endeavor and everyone else on that battlefield. We have Deku and Shigaraki currently battling it out in the skies of UA. You have Toga, who's like how many kilometers away? How far did Deku have to fly? I don't remember, but it's far. So even if she were to pop off with twice his quirk, it would take a little bit for it to happen. Dabi and Shoto are in Kamino. Yes, they're in Kamino. And their fights, like everyone's fairly spread out. So unless someone suffers like a massive defeat really fast, I can see us stalling for long enough. So it makes me feel like Spinner and this front to get Kurogiri back, like they're gonna end up succeeding. And who knows if Kurogiri is going to be on their side, or if what's going on with my screens? Is it flashing for you guys? All of my screens are flickering. Let me know, please. But we don't know if Kurogiri is going to help the villains or if Shirakumo possibly could help the heroes. Maybe it's a mixture of both. Maybe we might have some pushback, some blowback. Okay, thank you. But there could be something, but I feel like Kurogiri being let loose and having his quirk activated is going to change the tide of the battlefield. Because right now it feels like Deku might be able to kill Shigaraki. There's no telling what those stars were. If that's people approaching, if something else is happening. If we could stall All For One out, we just need to stall him. That's the two strongest people on their side. I feel like Dabi's gonna eventually kill himself. He can't stay alive forever. So it's like all the villains have like a timetable. Like they're all like their time is running shorter and shorter and shorter. So if we could unite the battlefields, I think that's what's gonna happen. I haven't even made it a page into the chapter and I'm just babbling. Excuse me. I think I'm getting sick. Forgive me. That sounds like Shoji. Check out that kid. All those nasty scars on him. Yeah, but that's why he's always covered up. It's just like you told us, Rep. How we gotta obey and steal back Kurogiri, even if it means sacrifices. Wow, he's an octopus. Tell us what to do. We know you're true and just. Just last week, he didn't care. Oh, and he said it himself. I don't care. Don't care. He's like, I don't care. Like, you guys are babbling. All I know is All For One jammed a bunch of quirks in me. Everything's crazy happening right now. We getting Kurogiri. I don't give a damn. He doesn't care. Indeed. He's saying history is written in blood, meaning such things are unavoidable. That stupid kid and Spinner too. They're making this harder than it needs to be. Press onward. Spinner, you're about to set us back 30 years. This feels like this hurts. Wanna know why it hurts? Because I relate. Shut up. Seriously. And if that body bulk doesn't get the job done, consider using this gift as well. Shoji's scars look like someone tried to decapitate him. It's terrible. Let me go back to this panel from the previous page that we get to see the side view of him. I feel the same way. Yeah. He said that right there. Like you're trying to set it. You're setting us back. I'm just like, what? Like, look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can see. I can see the editors being like, we can't have an arc of this. 100%. 100%. I can see the editors being. Because this would have been the darkest arc in the series, probably. It would have been the darkest arc of the series, probably. I can definitely see a lot of people telling him no. And he's like, well, you know what? Fine, whatever. All right, so Spinner he has Gecko because he is a lizard. Or a gecko. He got body bulk, which made him bigger. And then another quirk as well, this gift. Next page. Can't care anymore. Oh my gosh. What? Scale mail will grant you power, defense, and a form befitting a leader. Oh my gosh. So he's got bulk. What did he call it? Bulk form and scale mail? Not about any of it. Not anymore. League of Legends. Yeah, I've played that one. Go figure. Only on solo mode though. Wow. Excuse me. Oh, well, dude, he looks like he looks like Godzilla. He looks like Godzilla. Just keep moving. Shoji lost an arm. 2. That's right. He's got the sword. Goodness gracious. Holy crap. Next. Excuse me. Damn, he's recovering in that. Shoji. Brethren, observe our chosen rep. He shows us how the oppressed and downtrodden must find the courage to strike back. I react to Chainsaw Man. There's a playlist should be on the channel with every episode that's out already. Excuse me. We are the martyrs for the revolution. Blood spilled today will lead to rights for future heteromorphs. Would it? That's ridiculous. Of all people, Shoji is. Episode 4 isn't out yet. Episode 4 comes out in 2 days, doesn't it? So Shoji does walk around with his mask in the dorms, really? Okay, cool. Or he showed them at least. Huh. This right here feels like people ask questions and he's explaining. TK, bro. Okay, we're getting into it. My parents didn't have arms like mine. Oh my gosh. You see them with pitchforks? We lived in an awful town. What's up, madman? They all came out in force for a blood cleansing when I touched someone. Koda, Tokoyami, and others who grew up in cities might have read in textbooks about areas of the country where children are still made to bear scars like mine. Screw that, the world would be better off with those creeps. Yeah, it's like you can say that, but it's like exactly like you said. Like maybe so, but no matter what you're saying, it's still happening. The disparity remains. Look at me, Netta. Oh. I feel like I'm living light, like I'm reflecting on stuff. That's crazy. Oh geez, I'm pretty sure I called you octopus once. Sorry man, I wasn't trying to say you were gross or anything. It's only natural that my arms make people think of an octopus. I went for tentacle as my hero name, excuse me. Since taco is Japanese for octopus. And it's not like I'm unaware of the widespread heroes who look like villains ranking and stuff like that. I wouldn't want people to tiptoe around the issue for my sake. But my scars and heteromorph form are bound to make people wonder. So I wear the mask since I wouldn't want anyone thinking I'm out for revenge. Okay. That takes strength. I've been through plenty of terrible times that I'll never forget. But wow. Rather than dwell on the bad memories, he saved that little girl. Don't do it. Be a good moment. Be a good moment. Don't see him in his appearance and then freak out. Okay, cool. I'd rather cling to the single good one related to this body of mine as we experience this warmth during the cavalry battle on volume 4. That would be season 2, right? Yes. The what's his face? It was in the cavalry battle where they get on top of each other and they were riding, stealing the headbands. I'm trying to. Alrighty. Alright. Volume 4. Keep forgetting that I even have these back here. Yeah, volume 4 is the cavalry battle. Yep. All right. All right. To the single good one related to this body of mine. Only one good memory? That's terrible. It's like only one good memory? Say it ain't so. We'll make 1,000,000 of them together, buddy. The familiar warmth. You got us. You've got us. There'll be lots of good memories down the road. Calling you right now, Shoto and Bakugo are discriminatory against heteromorphs. Why do you say that? They're gonna have to beat the allegations? What? That's crazy. Alright, zoom in. Exactly. Yeah, nice and warm. I hope that this just feels oddly tragic that an individual pouring his heart like this in a normal series, in a regular series. I don't know. Would you kill Shoji in this explaining his traumas? Would you do that? That would be terrible. I don't think. I hope not. I don't want that to happen. Would you kill? Yes, I would. But I know it'll take more than one generation to tear down a wall that stood for over a century. Golly. So just as those who came before have done, I'll keep paying it forward. I'll be the coolest hero the world's ever seen. I'm all about the tragedy. The generations... Hold on. I'll be the coolest hero the world's ever seen to give good memories to the generations to come. You know, one thing that I like about I'll get to the end of the chapter. I was persecuted too. He's going off. I was persecuted too. And no, the people who hurt us weren't justified. But there's gotta be a better way. Yeah, she was explaining what happened with her. Several shelters turned me away. No heteromorphs allowed, they said. Yep. Don't care, destroy all. Oh my gosh, Spinner. Think about how to use that rage. I know you can. Because we've all got scars we carry. Were it that easy to bury the hatchet, it wouldn't have come to this. Yeah, Shoji, they're fighting, and everything that Shoji is yelling, the people are listening to. It's a battle of words, even though Shoji's in the middle of a fight. A battle of ideals and words are happening, and the people are like swaying back and forth, and things that are, I like that. It wouldn't have come to this. Do you offer a feasible solution? No. Only the pathetic cry of your ego. Our hearts are long since hardened by society. Far too hard to be moved by such childish naivety. Whoa. What's going on with Anima? Don't you dare mock Shoji. What is happening here? Oh, that's cold. That's cold. That's cold. Nah, that's cool as hell. That's cool. This right here, anything that could remind me of Tokyo Ghoul. That's sick. For him to be merging all of it together, oh, that's sick. And he says, gross. Oh, man, I like that so much. This one, I need to zoom out. I'm saving this. Yeah, this is who that's dope. That's dope. I'm not feeling, to be honest, I'm not really feeling what's going on with Spinner. I expected more out of his character besides becoming a half-brain beast. but I guess someone had to take the L, and it was him. I'm trying to think. I think it's I don't think we're supposed to like it. It's one of those things. That's right. I do remember that now that you say it. I don't know if it's supposed to be one of those things where we're supposed. I feel like it's done like this on purpose, because at the end of the day, Spinner, granted, All For One manipulates everyone, but in these couple of chapters where it's focused on the heteromorphs and everything that they're being put through and like the discrimination they face, it's kind of like, even though All For One does this for everybody, but in Spinner's case, it's like Spinner didn't even get to have a choice in what happened. All For One just did this. All For One like is using him as an agent against his own kind, against his own people. And that's weird. Like, All For One is like, I'm going to take you because you look like this, and I'm going to give you this stuff so that you can be like some weird figurehead and lead these people, so I can use these people for this. That's what it feels like. It just feels like everything's like the fight in that Shoji and all these heteromorphs that they want to fight against, Spinner had that taken from him. And it's kind of like, that feels like too big brain. It kind of feels like he's just being used as an agent to mindlessly lead his own people. Like he's supposed to be some sort of messiah for them, or for some, I don't know. He was supposed to be some figurehead for them. And he's just not. He's just something that some man created for them. Because I'm not necessarily a fan of what's going on with Spinner either. I feel like if I take a step back, it kind of fits with what's going on with everything that's happening and with all this stuff. Like I said, they gotta beat the allegations. I would have liked Spinner to have more, but it also feels like it feels like All For One chose this for Spinner. Not only for this right here, but Spinner and Shigaraki were the closest together, weren't they? Like their relationship is the tightest out of Shigaraki's relationship with everyone else in the League of Villains. Him and Spinner were like a little bit like this, and everyone's together in the League of Villains. They all love Shigaraki. They all adore him. They all look at him as leader, except for Dabi. But they're all like not together. They're all kind of like spread apart, like a little bit. Like Twice and Togo were like this. Compress was in there with them. But Spinner and Shigaraki were close. So not only can I use Spinner for this, but I can take away one of the closest things to him, because Spinner gave Shigaraki like some sort of weird like Zenkai friendship boost during the war towards the end of it. So it's like Spinner is able to tap in. So like if I could get rid of that for him, I can easily meddle with what's happening even more. Because like, even though All For One doesn't have a vested interest in any of this heteromorph stuff. He don't. And everything is a pawn to use for him. Because we've seen examples of him take someone who essentially was like a heteromorph or something crazy like that, who had these weird deformities because of their quirk, and just take that away from them. So it's like he has no vested interest in this. He knows this stuff goes on. But he will use to his advantage. And I feel like that's just what he's doing. Everything just as according to plan. I hope that we get more from Spinner. I hope that maybe Spinner could see some silver lining, like maybe next week or the week after. I'm hoping so. him becoming mindless just kind of sucks, just being honest. Spinner, as far as like the anime and the manga goes, he's like the most shafted character. All of his good stuff has never been seen by anime onlys. Here's the hoping that his stuff doesn't get cut in this season. The little stuff that he does get, and it's just like I just want more, because Spinner, like it was early on where he was the one looking at everything that was happening, following after Stain. A hero killer popped up, Stain, and like kind of being like, oh, and it wasn't in his relationship with Shigaraki, like steadied him, it steeled him. So I like his appearance looks cool. He looks like Godzilla in some weird way. he looks like Godzilla in some weird way. But I would like for him to have more. I would like for Spinner to come back. But it's just like, I don't know if that's possible. Like he's just had quirks jammed in him. Hi. Yeah, I like the nuance too. Koda's on horn was changing the whole chapter. Let me go back. Was it changing the whole chapter? I really wasn't paying attention to him. It was. On page 6, you see it happening. But I wonder what this means for him. Like, what does this mean for him? What does this do? Like his horn like growing and all of this stuff happening to him. Spinner has always been a follower. That is true as well. Like what does that mean? I wonder. Quirk evolution? I'm thinking so. But what evolution of being able to talk to animals would you get? That I don't know. I'm just not sure. Like, I can talk to animals and then what? I can't think of anything besides turning into the animals. But this doesn't look like he's turning into anything. I don't know. Like if Shoji can go through a quirk evolution. This Kagane stuff that he's doing though, making all of his arms into one big arm, loading up for that. I'm digging that. Because quirks are stronger the more you work them out, and they've been training a lot. Yeah. If my Japanese is correct, which is not, I think one of the kanji in his name means to rule or above all. So maybe he'll have complete control over all animals. Whoa. Oh, hold on. That's a crazy question. This is a crazy question I'm about to ask. Since a lot of heteromorphs are part animals, like since his power, his ability, his quirk is to talk to animals. If it mutates and it evolves into commanding animals, like I'm just not talking to you and telling you like we need to go, and then the birds are like okay, and we fly away. It's like I'm commanding you, like no, like I need these birds to do this, and I tell the birds what to do and they do it. Can he command the heteromorphs that are mixed with animals? Like can he talk to Spinner and tell Spinner stop, and since Spinner is part gecko, he would listen? That would be crazy. That would be like legit crazy. Because if that ability was given to a villain, you like 100%, you would be able to literally mind control a huge population of the planet. They would become mindless slaves. People alone, not counting the animals. Granted, it's given to like one of the most innocent people in the series. So like it kind of works out. That's crazy if that's the possibility. That's crazy. It's pretty scary too. I wonder. That would be crazy. Maybe to a lesser extent, not as strong as on animals, but still some leverage. Any sort of like interference with someone would be nuts if it could work on people, work on heteromorphs. What if Coda becomes the king of the heteromorphs? Because right now all these people are looking for someone to follow. They're all looking for an individual to follow. And they thought it was Spinner, and they thought Spinner could be the person they could follow. But at the end of the day, Spinner has always been a follower. And All For One gave him these quirks to be a leader, and now he's just a mindless monster. They need someone to lead, or they need someone to lead them. Will we set them free and allow them to reintegrate back into society? Do we speak to them to tell them to give up this effort that they're trying to do? I don't know. That would be nuts. That would be crazy. That would be crazy if Coda became the king of the heteromorphs, or the leader of the heteromorphs. With some crazy ability like that. I always knew Shoji was a good character. We just needed it from him. Now that we get it, it's incredible. I wish we had more. I wish we could get a lot more. Like, I hope this isn't over. I hope this wasn't like a 3 or 4 chapter little one-off. I would want more. I want more. Because this is great. This is I've loved these last 2 chapters. The point that I want to make, is that a big point of contention, I feel like a big point of contention when it comes to My Hero, I feel like there's a few. A lot of people are like, there aren't a lot of fights in it. To each its own. I like the fights that happen when they happen, but there isn't a lot of fighting in it. There's too much focus on all the secondary characters. And when we do school activities, it takes too much time. Like, we spend a lot of time on school stuff. Like, it's like the tests and the whatever, you like, all the stuff that's just strictly school stuff takes up a lot of the time in the grand scheme of things. And I'm like, I don't know what you expected with a series with the title Academia, and it has academia in its title. We're gonna be in school, but everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I personally feel that the relationship between Class 1A has been almost a constant for the majority of the series. At the beginning, it felt like a bunch of kids that didn't know each other, which makes sense. Excuse me. And through each traumatic event that they went through, you got to see like the different friend groups forming. So you had like Ochako and Sue and Deku and Ida, like that little group towards the beginning of the series. But then you get like Momo and Ashido and Invisible Girl, and Sue kind of mixed in with that. But then you get like Bakugo and Bakugo, Kaminari, Kirishima. You got Minato, who's just running around everywhere. Like the different friend groups, like they click up. And it's like, okay, that's just like how school goes. Like class starts, we really don't know each other. As the school year goes on, like everyone starts to make their friends. Like in a class, there's multiple groups that like each other. But I feel like what has been happening from about the war, like from the start of the war until this point now, and it's really been happening more so whenever they moved into the dorms, but it felt apparent when the war started and the fallout from the war is happening, that 1A goes from being a class that has a bunch of friend groups in it to the whole class becoming like one big family that helps when you live together. And then it helps when you guys are going through all of these things, and a bunch of you guys are both being traumatized in the same way. You guys can come together. And then you tie that together with, we just went through this war. Some of us just watched Deku damn near kill himself. Almost kill himself, trying to save everyone, trying to save all of Japan from crumbling due to Shigaraki. Some of us found Midnight dead. Like a bunch, like that group that found Midnight also like had the fact that they were creating like this weird chemical to like poison and sedate one of the enemies that they're on, and like being injected to them. Like, this is like very controversial. This is something that you maybe shouldn't be doing, but we have to do it because if we don't do it, bad things are going to happen. You take that, and then this kid, like, he's like the sweetheart for everyone. Deku is like the little innocent one that everyone in the class likes because of the things that he does. And then he leaves. Like, you figure out how important he is. You figure out how much he's been going through without all of you knowing. Only Bakugo and Shoto had an idea. Bakugo knew. And then you all find out that he's been going through hell. He's been going through a lot, and he decides to leave. And that like rips the class apart and then brings them together because they need to get him back. Because I'm not saying that like that, but we're all going through this. I'm pretty sure you figure out what I was going to say. Like, we're all going through this. We all need to stay united. So when we get to these moments where an individual like Shoji has gone through so much in his life, so much trauma, so much discrimination, beaten, like all these things, and for him to like open up and to tell these people that, I don't like, it's hard to say if Shoji just would have been open with anybody, but the fact that this isn't like a little clique. This isn't a clique. This is a big chunk of the class, if not all of the class, that he told this to. And their response is to like jump on him, and they're crying and stuff. It just shows the relationship, and like he's able to smile, he's able to look, like all of this. Like, he's able to have like all of these emotions with these kids. Like, they're more than just friends. So I feel like what we're doing, and I'm using Naruto as an example because Naruto does this in their war towards the end, where throughout the majority of the series, none of the kids really are affected, or none of the kids really die until you get to the war, and one of them does. And it's a fan favorite character. If you don't know, I won't say it, but it's a fan favorite character. It hurt when it happened, but as far as feeling the impact, felt like when it happened, I'm like, damn, say it ain't so. But I really don't know none of the kids, because Naruto, the series is called Naruto. It focuses on Naruto. You really don't know all the other teams like that. You knew them when they were kids, but we time skipped. We really don't know these kids like this. We have ideas. They're around. We see them do stuff, but do I really know them? No. If I'm deeply into the series and I'm reading all the data books and the guidebooks, and yeah, I know them, but the series didn't give me this. I feel like a lot of people have been itching and begging for one of the kids to die in My Hero for a long time because the stakes aren't high enough. None of the characters that we know die. And it's like, I don't know if Shonen Jump is going to kill off teenagers. But in a series like this, I feel like you can replicate what Naruto did in killing one of the kids and having it be impactful, because not only do we get to see this moment from Shoji, but we get to see the moment whenever they go get Deku. We get to see all the moments throughout all the series. We know these kids. A lot of people will say, like, we really don't know. There's so many kids, you don't know them. You know a lot more about those kids than you would think about. Like, you may not remember their names because it's hard to remember 21, 22 kids' names. And they have a first name, a last name, and a hero name. And then nicknames that they all call each other. There's like 7 names for each character. So it's like, it's hard to remember a name. But you know that kid. And even if you don't care about that kid, you might like one of the students in 1A and they like that kid. So that kid dying, right? That kid dying will hurt your character. And then the emotion that your character that you like is feeling, you might feel. And then it might work. I feel the same way. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice. I was trying to. Team 7 is truly the only team that gets focus in Naruto. And at that, only Sasuke and Naruto get focus in that series. Sakura, you know everything about Sakura by the time Shippuden starts. There's not, like, she has nothing else to do. You have nothing else to do whatsoever. So it's like whenever you get to that point and it happens, it's like, yeah, me not being an idiot, I know that these characters spend time together. It don't work for me because when's the last time I actually seen him? When in that moment, when was the last time that you saw him prior to his death? It was when was the last time he was relevant? There it is. When was the last time he was relevant? It just kind of felt like, here he is, and boom. It's just like, why'd we do that? But that's neither here nor there. You can, season 3, this is, I'm pretty sure this is, because Deku's holding trash in the scene, isn't he? Where was it? He's holding trash. So this is like, I'm pretty sure he's holding something. So I'm pretty sure this is after him and Bakugo fought. This is after Deku Bakugo too. This is after they fought. So this is post All Might, All for One, all that stuff. This is before their hero exam, I'm going to assume. Before they went for their provisional licenses. That's what I'm talking about. Before they went, I'm pretty sure that's around this point in time because it's the same attire that Deku wears. Like, he's got the black long sleeve shirt with his green shirt. I'm pretty sure that's it. I watch a lot of reactions and people just either forget or don't care to remember obvious stuff. Of course, man. Killing off a character, especially an underage one, just doesn't fit with Shonen Jump's MO. It doesn't. They're still targeted to teenagers after all, yeah. That's why you can never kill kids in video. It's a tough thing to kill kids, and it's a tough thing where I am a 29-year-old man, and I'm reading a series that is written primarily for a 14-year-old. So all of the adult and mature things that I would like to happen in this series just aren't feasible. There are some that do it, but those, like, they're rare. I feel like one of those comes like once a decade, it feels like. Like, I know Jujutsu Kaisen is like no holds barred sometimes. A popular shonen series outside of Attack on Titan. Like, what other series is there that's like popular that has done that? Like, they really don't do that. They really don't. I do feel like if My Hero is like 100% going to end, that's why Kodansha needs more big names, but that's just because I'm a fanboy, yeah. If I feel like if My Hero is ending and there's not going to be a part 2, there's a chance that one of the kids could die. there's a chance. There's like a sliver that one of the kids could die. Like a sliver that one of them could. I think there's like a sliver. I just don't know who. And then what's going to happen is, this is what's going to happen, right? My hero is going to, like, Corey is going to kill off one of the characters. For real, right? For real. Kill off one of the characters. And then people are going to be like, I didn't care about that character. Like, that death was meaningless. When I feel like a lot of the kids, even though they don't have their own arcs or primary focus, I feel like their importance is felt because how much focus 1A gets. It's not just Deku getting all the focus. It's not just Shoto getting all the focus or Bakugo getting all the focus. They collectively get it a lot of the times. A lot of the times 1A gets a lot of the focus and it pisses people off. It's like my hero feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because a big problem with Shonen, I felt like in the early to mid 2000s, even the 2010s, was that the main character is the only character that matters. Right? It's like it feels like the main character is the only one that matters. And you have all these side characters that are really cool, but we only care about the main character. So then the main character gets power boosted so much that no other character keeps up, and you run into all these weird things. But then you have a series where I wish there was more focus on Deku. I'm saying this now. I wish there was a little bit more focus on Deku. But all these characters get the spotlight, and people don't like it because Deku is whiny and he cries a lot. Even though he doesn't cry like that anymore. But he cried a lot during the beginning, so it's something that will always stay with him. It's weird. Even without potential censors, my hero's always been about hope and progress. Yeah, I feel like killing kids wouldn't benefit the story. It wouldn't, but it could, because even though, like, it depends on in the fashion you kill one of the kids. Not all of them. Like, if one of the kids die trying to do something like super heroic or super like hero like, and then the kids are able to rebound and take that person's death and use it as something to push them forward, it would still fit the mold. Black Clover has the same problem. Yuki Tabata has gone on record saying that certain characters were supposed to die, that is forced to change. I hate that. I never understood that. When you factor in his past prior to the story, psychological state made complete sense. The whole Deku crying thing is it's the reason why it's why I wish we got more of a deep dive into his brain earlier on in the story. Yeah. Yeah. I never understood that. I think it's the reason why I kind of like check out. I check out from a lot of like my hero stuff on the internet. One, because shippers are terrible. And then two, because like the fan base is so terrible, it makes other people who don't watch or read my hero hate my hero because of how terrible its fans are. So it's like I'd kind of like check out, but then from time to time I'll get curious and I'll like try to listen to what people say. And they're like, a big thing that I've been hearing, that I've just been curious on YouTube, just clicking on stuff. And My Hero's like one of the only series that I really can surf the internet, where a lot of people are like, are dunking on Deku because season 6 has been so good and he's barely been in it. Like he's the problem of My Hero. Like just completely dunking on him. And it's just like the arc just started. Like what? I feel like this universe has been crafted in a way where this 16-year-old boy who just got his power a year ago is not going to be the one to solve all the issues right now. But it feels like everyone wants him to solve the issues right now. Like it's his I don't know. It's weird. What's up, Team King? Like it's his fault that that All Might was so good at being a hero. I don't know. And it's weird. Those are the same people who wanted Bakugo or Shoto to be the main character. People are tired of a Boy Scout MC. Yeah. I don't know. They're gonna get their answer. The whole point, what I'm waiting, and I'm like itching to see how people are going to react, is how are they gonna react when Deku takes front and center fighting Shigaraki after Eraser stops using his erasing. Like, Deku takes it upon himself to be like, I'm the only one that actually can do something here. And I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to leave school because I don't need to drag anyone else. And then I'm going to go do all this stuff and be dark and try to one-man army crime. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, how are people going to react to Deku? Are they still going to refer to him as like the crybaby? Because he's going to end up crying in a couple of episodes. And that's the first thing people are going to talk about. Because when Gran Torino gets punched, he's going to cry. And then when Bakugo gets stabbed, I think his eyes are going to well up with tears. And then he's going to, like, what are people going to say? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the whole he cries so much thing is so annoying. Because every season, Deku has a moment where I'm not even going to say every season. Well, no, Deku didn't cry in season 5. Every season, though, Deku has cried. But I felt like in the beginning of the show, yeah, he cried a lot. But after like season 1, it feels like every time he cried, there was a reason for it. Like, it made sense why he cried. I feel like these are a lot of people who are just untouched. They're not in touch with their feelings. So seeing a character that can like be vulnerable enough to cry just is like, oh, he's weak. He's not like Ichigo. Like, he's not like it's dumb comparisons. They're completely different people. But it feels like every reason is like a reason. Like season 4, he cried because Night Eye died. And then people are like, he didn't know Night Eye like that. I'm like, he was obsessed with All Might. Surely he would be obsessed with Night Eye too. Right now, people sit at home and cry over a celebrity that they've never met in their life because the celebrity meant so much to them. So, Night Eye dying in front of his face, that's something he would cry about, right? He cried. I think he welled up with tears whenever he saw Eri was happy. I'm pretty either him or Mirio did that. And it's like, we spent half of that season trying to save this little girl from being tortured every day. And now she's happy? Hell yeah, that's a cryable thing. Watching this child experience joy for the first time of her life. Outside of that, it's like, there's reasons. I think they made it a gig. It was. They both start crying. They're like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, I got carried away. Thank you. But I feel like yeah, it's at the end of the day. It was just like, maybe I want to say, was this yesterday? Was it 2 days ago? Where I was like, I went from like 4 different videos. I can't even tell you who were talking. And it was just a lot of Deku hate. And I'm like, why? I'm like, why is there Deku hate? No, I don't understand why there's so much Deku hate. Like, not like criticisms, like hate. I don't know. It was like weird to me. Yeah, next week's episode is going to be nuts. I can't wait. What I want to know is like, what's going to happen when Deku starts fighting? Because everyone is, it feels like Deku's barely in the story. He's not even featured. I feel like that's that shouldn't be a negative on the series. I feel like that should be a positive, that we're able to have characters in our show that can actually fight back without having to rely on the main character all the time. Because in what a lot of shonen series run into is that the main character shows up and then the main character fights, and then the main character loses, and then everyone has to regroup, and then the main character gets a power boost, and then the main character comes back and he fights again, and then in some instances he loses again and then he has to come back and fight again. It feels like very redundant in a lot of arcs. So the way that we're able to take an arc like the war and not even have Deku fight at the beginning of it, have everyone else fight, the villain's too much, have Deku show up, and then even the battlefield it feels like, and then it falls apart, and then the villain falls apart, and then everything is just scrambled and scattered. Everything, and then it just wraps up. I don't know. Again, at a macro level, when you have a story with 15 plus characters, that story is actively invested in, MC is going to get lost in the development. Absolutely, 100%. That, I feel like that's that's the best way to look at it. But I feel like what My Hero does sometimes I will say sometimes, whenever Deku shows back up, he does get focused. I will say that. Sometimes. I personally think we spent too much of the story focused on Shoto. I agree. But I feel like I think that as well. But I feel like we are now at the point where we don't have to, like, we've gotten through enough of his story that we don't need to do it anymore. I feel that way. So it's like, yeah, like a lot of the story is centered around Endeavor, Shoto, and Dabi and all that stuff that's happening, because there's like this weird changing of the guard. But now that we've essentially completed that, and it's just basically fight time between Dabi and Shoto and Endeavor, like we've moved past it. I just wonder, like, where we are taking Deku as a character, because right now he feels like the hero I would want him to be, but I feel like I need one more thing from him to like solidify it. All right. Yeah, Tink King. All right, I gotta get out of here. Sorry, I gotta do Gundam Mercury. I thought I was gonna give myself enough time. But I didn't. So either I'll start a little bit earlier next week, or I'll push it a little bit later, because we'll get to talking. But thank you guys, I appreciate it. If you're interested, I'm about to hop over to watch episode 5 of G-Witch, which is Gundam the Witch from Mercury. Excuse me. So I'm about to hop over to do that. Deku needs to turn into Ichigo, where everything he does is almost cool. Right now, he's at that point. Him being reintroduced back into the story. Well, since the war, I feel like everything Deku's done has been like dope. Yeah, since basically from this point on, where we are at in the anime, everything Deku has done has been like, huh? In my opinion, it's like, sure, all right. So I need more. But see you guys. Have a good rest of your Sunday or Monday if I don't see you. Have a good week coming up next weekend, and hopefully, God willing, I see you guys back here next week for 372 of My Hero. So thank you. I'll see you. Peace out. Sorry.